Alright guys, Supreme Kami here. So it is time to do the alteration review for the Sazabi, the life-size version. So that's what I put. Obviously that is not the full name. It's like the life-size new Gundam statue. So we're gonna kind of show it, just kind of call it the life-size version, like what if. So in terms of this unit, just a quick overview of I'm not gonna talk about the stat yet. So this unit overall is gonna be tech attribute. There's no alternative attribute, which means you're not gonna be able to get that 6% all power boosting and then 2% damage mitigation or damage reduction. And then there's also not going to be any big skills, so this one actually could be a fairly solid option to any subslotting or whatsoever. Because if you guys do take a look at the roster throughout, we've been just getting a bunch of big skill, so it is quite good to just kind of get some normal skilling, so that should be a very good option right there. And then something to note about this unit, I'm gonna say this unit is a very well-rounded unit overall. What the portrait is doing, it's gonna be able to support your squad, your ally. Just let's say in multi-mission matches, you are able to support your allies as well. So not only concerning about your squad, but let's say anyone within your multi-mission match lobby, they are getting some of the portrait benefit as well. And that's something to note. So this overall unit, I can't consider this one as being like a good shooting based unit, just because of the overall as a full set. The word tag does have, let's say, close combat, high firepower, and then commander word tag only is like what, 4 out of like how many parts of it. So yeah, so I can't really rate this one judging by the overall shot base unit. The overall stat, if I have I don't have that tab anymore, I don't think I have it, but the overall stat after using the 40% change gear, it is significantly less than your melee, so can't really rate it naturally as well. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the overview. I think the next question is like, do you guys want to summon it? Despite how good the portrait is, I would definitely say it's straight up tell you guys, there's at least 6 part in here that I think is definitely worth summoning for. Head part, arm parts, legs, back part, what is it, the beam saber, the long rifle, and then the funnel ranged weapon. So those are the 6 part that I think are probably meta breaking, or I'll just kind of make it short, just really good, really top tier, just gonna be a very, it's just gonna sustain for a very long time. You can just kind of toss it into your growth hanger, let it cook for like, I don't know, for the next good couple of days, because we still have, let's say, the growth hanger campaign going on. So if you guys want to instantly raise your portrait level or EX level, I think that will be a solid option to be looking at. So yeah, but on the other side, keep that in mind, there's just so much part in this overall banner, so the chances of actually pulling something you need, for example, it's just going to be abysmal. And also do keep in mind, we are just starting out this new meta. We are seeing a lot of 50% trade. They're doing a lot more combo where it's allowing one part is able to affect your overall squad. So we are seeing a trend of just, everything is being universally boosted. So those are, I would just really have to say that is going to be the trend from now to the 4th year anniversary. So from now to then, we are going to be getting repeat of the same thing. So if you guys don't get something right now, just keep that in mind, you guys will be able to get something later down the road. So I think that's definitely going to be enough for the introduction. So let's actually get into it. So looking at the head part right now, you guys can see that it is going to be at the podium at the moment. It's coming in at 9,777 with the melee plus the 40% change gear. So that is going to be 40% of that melee defense. Translate that into, or add that onto your overall raw melee attack. So overall parameter looking pretty hot, especially the armor, like everything on this unit right here. And then looking at the new Gundam FF, they have probably some of the higher armor stat in the game, I would definitely have to say. But in terms of for melee specifically, we're not really a stranger to looking at high armor, so definitely not going to be a surprise. But in terms of new Gundam being a range unit 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, that was definitely a jaw-dropping moment for me personally. So overall, pretty good parameters, so not much to talk about there. Portrait wise, so portrait, This one is going to be a double damage up by a respectively 50% and then a 35%. Keep that in mind, this one, I would consider this one being a good supporting role for either yourself in a melee build situation, and let's say just providing, let's say your overall teammate, your squad, that support. Because this one right here, they say all enemy, all damage up. So this one, you can kind of rephrase that into doing so squad. So this one should be squad. I don't know why they had it as all, but I have tested this language out before. So this one is actually everyone within your team is able to get that damage up, so that's good. And then this one is all damage, so this one is you're not really restricted to only EXQ, so your normal attack is getting damage up as well. So definitely a very good supporting role. So this one specifically is going to be obviously for your melee build, but in terms of the supporting matter, it counts in there. So 5 seconds, I'm not going to call it a bad restriction if you're not looking at a point of view of, let's say, arena. Any other content, 5 seconds is pretty much like it's a walk in the park. You can just breeze by that 5 seconds within a blink of an eye, so definitely no problem with that. First portrait condition, attacking only beam. That part I don't like because I would say in terms of melee EXQ, it does have a little bit more flavor in terms of physical only. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But I mean, like, you can't just have everything that's good, right? So but overall, if you guys are able to put head part, definitely do alterate this one because of that squad overall damage up is just pretty good. It's just a very new things that we're having, so yeah, definitely pretty good. All right, moving over to your torso part here. So armor is looking at 12,000, so that's pretty hot. In terms of the overall, let's say offensive, pretty high, so you don't really care, you don't really have to care too much about, let's say, the conversion here, because it's pretty much going to be offering next to 0 in a sense. We roughly got probably around 2,300 because we clock out at 10,900 and then base right now is looking at 8,600, so you roughly got about, you know, maybe 2,200 2,300 areas. So because of that, defense is actually relatively low compared to, let's say, some of the other part. Some of the other part, I think they should be clocking it at maybe 7k or 8k like that. So that's what this, you know, it does have that different ratio going on, if that kind of makes sense. But overall, pretty good. In terms of alteration for this one, I'm not gonna suggest it alterate or not because of the fact that this one does have EXQ, and then prior to alteration, you are looking at a B plus power already. So I think it is very sufficient enough already. But this one, you can definitely make the argument you can put this on both build because it does have commander, which is definitely helps. Because part that has commander is instantly very valuable just because we don't see that too often. So yeah, not really much to talk about this one. This one simply is either or. You want to alterate it, or let's say you have the L badges and then you want to alterate it because of the EXQ, you like it whatever, or you simply just want to alterate a 7-star because you need it as a main part or just for the stat purpose overall. So this one, you guys definitely have to decide on your own whether or not you need it. I just kind of have presented the facts. I don't really need to alterate it because the EXQ is doing B plus power already. But other than that, in terms of some of your other element, that is purely depends on what kind of build you're looking at. So alright, moving over to the arm, we have another supporting Juggernaut part out here. So in terms of the arm, 10k for the armor and then 16, almost 17 for your raw melee attack. So that is crazy for sure. So what makes this part really good? Take a look at the part trait. So we are getting a double squad all power boosted by 35%. So you are pretty much getting like a freebie here. So in terms of condition, I would just say there's no condition at all, because let's say if you're trying to activate any active word tag, I think high firepower is definitely that one word tag, or yeah, that one active word tag that you will probably 100% of the time have it up already, just because in terms of what art part is happening lately, they just have been filling with high firepower. So I don't see any given situation you want to have to activate it, so that's fine. This one is just going to be a very good supporting type role. So like I said, again, everyone gets it. Like your own personal squad get it if you're playing like a 3 on like a squad battle with, like, let's say those story missions, free missions, or even let's say arena, for example. And this one, if you guys are running those, let's say, limited time bosses multi-mission, this one you can actually support your allies as well. So that definitely is a very good portrait overall. So if you guys are looking into investing to something, I feel like this one could make a very great exception for sure, since this one is not a big skill. So what you can technically do, if I were you guys, I would definitely subslot. So you see this one over here, the Quantum Full Saber as attribute. So this one happened to, oh, let's see, close combat, high firepower, and high firepower close combat. So what you can do, I would subslot the Sazabi into this one here because this one is a big scale. This has access to alternative attribute, so you can gain that non-conditional, not really non-conditional, that invisible 6% or that passive 6%. So if you subslot this one into this one, you're instantly cutting, or not really cutting this one directly by 40%. But when you guys applied it into your build, you're getting that 40% subslot bonus, which is going to be very powerful. So we definitely do have some pretty good big skill that you can definitely subslot into. So it definitely it's just a very good option overall. So yeah, if you guys are able to put an arm, definitely do archer it because it is going to be very helpful, just supporting yourself, supporting your ally, and just supporting your overall squad. So definitely pretty good. So moving over to the leg part here. In terms of leg, I feel like we have been seeing these types of portrait already. So I'm not gonna say this one is like, oh yeah, you gotta archer it because it's like X and XYZ good, but no, I feel like this one is a little bit of a step down from what we have seen so far. Because in terms of the condition, this one is a close combat active only. So which means if you're running this into a shooting based build, obviously in a just a normal shooting based build, you will not be running close combat because that is the active warhead for a melee build. So I would definitely see, if we do take a look at the overall roster, something that we see that's better. We have, let's say, the Wing Zero Peaceful version, the Endless Wolf version. This one is pretty much do the same thing in a sense. This one obviously does have its own flaws, but we see something that is not really gated to like a specific vortex. So this one, on the other hand, you can do this, or you can run this on both build and no problem. And I think same things goes for, I thought there's some more. Let me take a look. I believe there are actually some more, but I can't really find it on the list at the moment. If I remember, this one does not. So these two are squads, so that's why they are definitely, they are definitely going to be a lot more better than your generic ones over here. But yeah, this one is having a close combat does not grant you that immediate, oh, let's say I can use it in both build in sense, right? This one you can definitely use it into both build, no problem. It's just that this one does have its own unique flaw right there. But other than that, I will not really invest into this one just because of the fact that I can only probably use it in one build, and that's just not practical, right? I feel like nowadays you want to get parts that is able to support both build, maybe regardless of the stat being a little bit skewed it towards melee, or maybe skewed it towards shot. I just feel like overall, if you are able to do a benefit of doing both build, I think that is definitely a win-win situation already. So this one, I'm not gonna say it's good for alteration. In terms of the secondary portrait, you do have the enemy EX skill damage up, so that's obviously gonna be leagues better than some of your regular power boosting. But I'll definitely reiterate once again, I would rather have something that's able to benefit everyone, or just any build with ease, than having something that I have to kind of wiggle around to get it up and going. So this one, in my opinion, I would not alterate it just because of not having a generally usable active warhead right there. If they made a high firepower, then I would say yeah, definitely go alterate this one. It's just gonna be good. But no, they want to drop that into close combat. So yeah. Alright, up next we do have the back part, which is definitely a must alterate. Why? Because if we do take a look at it or before alteration, the power only stays at A+. Even at max out EX skill level 10, we are only staying at A+. So if you want that juicy triple S power, definitely alterate it. Definitely try to max it out if you guys can, because this one is gonna hit like a flipping truck for sure. So this one, look at that, triple S power, like whew, man, this is getting out of hands. In terms of the overall effects, this one does raise your melee attack up by 54% to your overall squad, and then another defense up by 19%. So in my honest opinion, they can definitely toss in a few more effects and make this one like a even better portrait or EX skill. This is just a bare minimum in my opinion. They can definitely toss in maybe like I don't know, maybe like an EXQ reduction, like instantly cooldown. If they throw that in there, whoo, yeah, this is probably gonna be one of your best melee EXQ. And I have tried this on I have tried this EXQ on myself, and then in terms of the actual EXQ animation, it is a very long animation overall. So in terms of sustaining that EXQ effects right here, it's not gonna be all that good after trying it out. But this one is gonna be a non-awakenable. So if you want to change this one into, let's say, I don't know, the Burning Gundam's Arm EXQ, you can definitely freely do so, because they're not gonna collide in terms of the overall effects. So that's good. And some other things to note about this overall part or so is look at those stats. 11k for the armor, and then 9k for that melee attack. 9k? Like, this part alone is doing better than something down here. So whoops, let me switch over here. Yeah, this one is like doing better than most of your average back part already. So I don't know, this part is looking really good. In terms of defense, not really much to talk about. It's just pretty much non-existent. And then in terms of the shot attack, it's kind of there, so I'll definitely give it that. Same attack, high firepower, and then close combat. So we have yet to see another part with Commander so far. So this one, if you guys are able to get your hands into this one, definitely do alterate it, because it is that good overall. So alright, let's move over to the shield part, which is probably the less, let's say, prominent, because in terms of EXQ, we have another beam tomahawk dance, which is pretty much the same thing that we have gotten already. This one does have a little bit of a better power, up to SS, and this one, on the other hand, they pack a lot of effects on this one. So this one is getting a speed increase by 20%, melee up by 39%, overall squad, and then squad beam resistant and physical resistant up by a respectively of 29% and 49%. So yeah, they're definitely packing a lot into this one in hopes that people will actually like it. I like it, not the EXQ, but let's take a look at the stat. 9k for the shield, and then almost 7k for the melee attack, which is kind of crazy. And do keep in mind, we do almost have an 8k for that melee defense. So yeah, that's why I'm looking at good. So overall pretty good. In terms of, let's say, respectively to your shot, it's only at 5,400 and then 5,600. So in terms of the shield, I'll definitely not run this into a shot build, obviously, just because of the overall stat kind of right there. So that's kind of unfortunate. 10k on the shield after using conversion gear is obviously pretty crazy. I do wish that maybe they would bump the defense up to like a 9k at least. That would be good. They, like, what I wanted to do, like, at least lower the shot defense by a smidge, and then further increase the melee defense to just make this decaying of the shield for now. But overall, definitely pretty good. Just overall pretty bonker in my opinion. 9k for the armor, like, whew. Just really good. Just the EXQ itself is kind of like, oh, a reanimation, really. Yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate factor. And then I was told this EXQ is slanted when you activate it, or like the camera goes slanted. I definitely would try that out, to just gonna give you guys like a side-by-side comparison when I do the EXQ review for this one, to see if that holds true. If that is the case, I do wonder how that looks like. I don't know, but we'll definitely find that out as we do the review, or the EXQ review, later on the week, or maybe next week actually. So yeah, because what is it? We got the Gundam Battle Alliance going on already, so I do want to record some footage for that one. So in terms of the Gundam Breaker mobile content, not that it's gonna slow down, but I'll probably do either or. Have one video each per day, if that is if time allows, right? So that's a little bit of a side note for you guys there. So moving over to the melee weapon, we have two different flavors here. So let's take a look. So the first and foremost, we do have a pretty bonker beam saber. So why is that? We are getting a double EXQ, so not really double. First of all, it's going to be a enemy EXQ damage up by 50%, so that's one part. And then we also do get another EXQ power boosted by 50%. So these two are different. So this one respectively is doing 50% more damage to your enemy. So in terms of, like the let's say, how should I put it? In terms of like which one is more valued, definitely the doing the damage to your opponents better than the overall EXQ boosting right there. So this one is just really good. What was something that we have seen that has similar property? This one. If we do take a look at the Infinite Justice that was released the week before the anniversary, like the actual birthday of the anniversary or the game itself, this one has similar property, and at that time we all thought this is like the best melee EXQ ever, or the EXQ portrait. What? or portrait. Whoa, not EX skill portrait. What is that? What is that? But yeah, no, this one now is probably gonna be a for a long time. I feel like this one is just gonna be a very good melee for the melee weapon slot. This is too good. This one is going to be a double EX skill doing damage and then doing the EX skill power. So in any case scenario, you're not really losing anything. So your melee EX skill, your shopping EX skill, they're all going to be doing some extra damage with this portrait activated. So that is a very generous portrait overall. They do give you like a stipulation. First and foremost, you do have to be running a saber category as the equip, either on a skin or on your actual main build, which this one itself is already. And in terms of, let's say the armor this has to be 80% or more, which I think is not the worst case scenario. If they want to make this part janky, they would toss in like a 90%, then that's gonna be a problem, because falling below 90% is like a walk in the park. So I'm glad they didn't do that. So overall, this is like the very best melee EX skill, or not, oh my gosh, melee portrait ever. So the only downside factor is the fact that they did not pack this one with any shot attack or shot defense or whatsoever. So in terms of the stat compartment, it is gonna be slightly faltered just a little bit, but I feel like the portrait itself does definitely makes up for it, so no complaints on this one whatsoever. So up next, we have the funnel close combat version of it. So let's see what this one rocks for us here. So in terms of this one here, they did actually give it like a split here, but in terms of the actual melee attack itself, it is so low. We're comparing something to like let's say, what is it, the Sengoku Astre and then Wing Zero. So yeah, this is not a optimal, let's say, range or yeah, melee weapon for your melee build. It is just so bad, but this one is actually going to be EX skill, so it doesn't really matter anyway. So this one is going to be the Saber Manifestation, so it's going to be a funnel. So this one is doing S power 60 seconds for the cooldown, so 90 seconds at EX skill level 1, so that's a surprise right there. In terms of this EX skill, it's not anything too crazy in my opinion. It's just kind of there. I definitely do have to use it a little bit more to just kind of get a feel actually how it looks like. I think right now I have forgotten how it looks like already, but it doesn't look all that too bad, but it's not like it's anything too crazy. This one right here does have commander itself, so if you do want to kind of run this one onto your melee build, or not your melee build, if you do want to run this into your shop build, it does have commander, and it does have some pretty respectable shot attack, so that's awfully going to be a good thing for sure. So in terms of this one, I'll definitely say no go for the alteration, just because of the fact that this one simply is the EX skill, so it doesn't really need to do all that extra damage already, and this one is not a custom EX skill, so it doesn't really matter that much anyway. So that's just kind of my opinion right there. So alright, so range weapon time. So in terms of the range weapon, this one itself, the long range long rifle, this one does not hold any melee departments that whatsoever, so no melee attack and no melee defense, so I cannot even put this one onto the list. So yeah, but this one is a very broken part again. Why is that? Because they're giving out a 2. Alright, so this one is a double squad enemy EX skill damage up by respectively 40% and 35%. So once again, this one is going to be able to provide support to your squad, young squad, and then your, let's say, multi-mission squad. So this one is doing a lot by itself. So if you guys were able to put this one, definitely do bake this one immediately into the growth hanger, because this one is an insane portrait. Just the amount of support this one is providing is like too good. So if you guys are able to get your hands into this one, definitely a very good solid option. And this one does have commander, so definitely another thumbs up for this one. So yeah, not really much to talk about this one, except for the fact that this range weapon is busted. Alright, last but not least, we do have the funnel, but the range weapon version. So okay, so how does this one look like? So this one is going to be a little bit of a mixture as well. So we do have a little bit of a good melee attack, which is currently the best one that we have for the range weapon department. And then in terms of the actual shot attack, it's not going to be too high, so definitely do have to work with that. But in terms of the overall portrait, guess what we have? We have a enemy all power or enemy all damage up by 40%, and the most important part, we are getting a squad buff EX skill effects up by 30%. So Just another amazing portrait from the same unit. Like these two ranged weapon is probably one of the best I've seen so far yet to this day. So if you guys are able to put any both of them, like, ooh, yeah, you guys are in pretty good business overall. So that's it gonna be in terms of the review for the Sazabi, the life-size version. Overall speaking, this one is a very positive unit overall. It's just the stat, it is gonna be a little bit skewed towards the melee build aspect of it. Overall Vortex, it is gonna support melee a little bit more because you do have that commander, or not commander, close combat, so that is the unfortunate factor. But in terms of, let's say, how many good part we are able to fight within this overall unit, we have 6. In my general opinion, I found 6 portraits that are actually pretty feasible, and that's all it counts in my takes here. So do let me know how many of you guys actually went into summoning on this banner. I know it's probably not the most generous just because we do have 10 parts, and trying to pull for a specific part is gonna be like if trying to find a needle in a haystack type of situation. So definitely not gonna be for everyone out there, but for those who that have pulled, do let me know how were your pulls. And then yeah, with that being said, that's gonna be pretty much it, and then I'll be catching you all on the next one.